One Punch Man is the anime that shook the fucking world. People started doing workouts from the show, and even Bill goddamn Burr admitted to watching it.
He gives him one. Somebody said they should have called the show the Right There, Fred. He gives him the fucking BAM!
It's my go-to suggestion for people that are first getting into anime, and Season 2 could've and even still could be better than that. What's up guys, it's Scamboli, aka I Have No Friends, and today we're going to be looking at One Punch Man from the perspective of someone who's read the manga. I don't really need to give you guys a summary, so let's talk about what makes Season 2 so great. There's a lot to love about Season 1, but that's not lost in Season 2. The story begins to shift a bit from Saitama onto all the other, smaller characters in the series. This may sound disappointing, but it ends up building the world in an extremely interesting and entertaining way. The fights just get crazier and crazier and larger in scale. While it is extremely satisfying seeing Saitama walk up to something and obliterate it, we get to see just how badass the characters like Metal Bat and Zombie Man really are. Don't get me wrong, Saitama definitely does his thing, especially in the tournament portion of the story, which is, again, extremely satisfying. But that's not what elevates the story. The way that the background characters are now moved to the foreground opens up a world of opportunity. Moving on from that, the comedy has not been forgotten, which is probably a relief to a lot of you. So to summarize, it feels like the author recognized exactly what made One Punch Man so popular and broke it down to a science. We're not losing anything, every part of the story is there and even better. If you like Season 1, Season 2 is bound to make you love the show even more. Now let's talk about the characters. I touched on this a lot earlier, but what really carries a show is its unique and extremely deep cast of characters. Let's start with Saitama. He's one of the best main characters I've ever had to root for. In Season 1, he spends most of his time alone or with Genos. In Season 2, we get to see him surrounded with people that actually care about him. It feels like although he'll never get the recognition he deserves, he'll find his own fulfillment, and I love that development. The S-Class characters we've already been introduced to are badass as shit and all super unique. Despite the cast being so large, everyone has their own personalities, motives, and gets their turn in the spotlight. You'll know what I'm talking about in a couple episodes when we see Metal Bat in action, if it's animated correctly. Then there's a brand new characters like... The villains are all extremely memorable and fun, and some are even... Whoa. But the character that really steals the show for me is Garou. He gets his ass handed to him over and over and doesn't know when to sit the fuck down. He's a super likable villain with a soft spot for kids, so, you know. Expect to see all the weebs with Garou profile pics, so, yeah. Now let's talk about what's killing the anime. We all freaked out about how shitty it looked in trailers. I performed a second circumcision on myself, and my grandmother unplugged herself from the oxygen. But I don't think it looks that bad. Whenever they're not fighting, the show looks absolutely fine to me, although it does look a lot different. But when I saw that Saitama versus Fubuki fight, it made me fucking mad. They do this thing where it's like an almost still frame, they turn it gray and start fucking shaking it like Homer Simpson. I can't see when you do that. Luckily, all the scenes with Garou in the next episode looks alright, so there's still a chance. But do we really want to settle with alright? Season 1 was almost always interesting to look at. There's so many memorable scenes that stick out. Look back on episode 1 where Saitama smacks the fuck out of that giant, punches Piccolo, and fights the underground people. All these shots look great and fun to look at. We're 3 episodes into Season 2 and there hasn't been a single scene I can think fondly of. Aside from that guy, you know, get his brains bashed in. So, in conclusion, where episode 1 was innovative and shit, Season 2 comes across as uninspired and poorly executed. So I can't help but wonder, if Season 1 looked like this, would it still be as big as it is now? Let's talk about music. I don't have much to say about the music, it's pretty much the same as Season 1 with very little change. And that's not really a bad thing, I'm sure we all get a nice feeling when we hear some One Punch Man music. The only complaint I have is that during the fight scenes, you hear this weird bass-boosted constantly, which you would normally hear in like a meme. It's just a lazy sound effect that fucks with my immersion, so I just had to get that off my chest. The music is good, so here's my final thoughts. I'm positive Season 2 is going to be a fantastic anime that all One Punch Man fans should watch. One Punch Man fan. The story and characters that come along with it are definitely superior to Season 1, but when it comes to a question of aesthetics, there's no conversation to be had. It looks like shit in my opinion. But seeing as we're only 3 episodes deep, I'm gonna keep hope that the more important scenes look better. And if the fight scenes don't bother you that much, you're in for an amazing treat. Even if you hate the art, I'd say the story is good enough to keep going. That's it. That's the video. Like or comment or both if you enjoyed. It helps these videos get seen. Tune in next Friday when I do... something. I'm running out of ideas. Peace.